I'm now going to demonstrate how to create your own title block in Inventor. So if you're not happy with the default one, you can go ahead and create your own. All you have to do is if you hit New, you can go to one of the existing ones. You can see I've already created one here. But let's say I want to go ahead and go with a default title block here. And when you start out with, most title blocks are C size, so to change that, most people like it set on A size for their printer, especially at school. I'm going to right click on sheet 1, edit sheet. Then I'm going to go ahead and change this to A size paper. I like it in the bottom right hand corner, but here's where you would change where your title block is placed. I like it right there. You can also change to portrait. I hit OK. Now the title block is way too large and has a lot more information than we usually want. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to right click on ANSI Large, edit definition, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Then I'm going to, in the gray space, draw my new title block. It doesn't matter where I draw it, it's always going to snap in that bottom right hand corner. I like to draw in the gray space so I've got a little more visibility on my dimensions. I like my title block to be 4 inches wide by 1.5 inches tall. Now there's some things that I go ahead and put in here. Always different students like to modify this different ways. You can make this title block so it went all across the bottom. Doesn't matter. This is just the one I like to use. So if I go ahead and draw and divide up the areas, I'm going to make a box in the corner here that is 1 by 1. And I'm going to go ahead and take a line that shoots straight across here. I'm going to take a line that comes across here. You can draw this however you want. I'm going to dimension from here to here. Set that at 1/3, which makes this 2/3. I'm going to go ahead and create a rectangle in this corner here. Draw a line that cuts all the way across here. That's lined up with the midpoint. And I'm going to make one that's obviously not lined up with the midpoint there. Dimension. I want that centered. This is 3.5, so that leaves me at 1.75. Or if you're not good at math, you can just type it into Inventor. It'll do the fractions for you. So right there's the basic setup I'm going to use. Now I've got to go ahead and label things. In this box I like to go ahead, I'm going to click on text there. I like to put my business name or whatever. I'm going to use my school name. I'm going to go ahead and click that space there. I'm going to type in my school name. I'm going to set down the mic so it might be harder to hear. I also like to center justify this both ways. That way it's centered up in the box, just like that. Then right here is going to be where I'm going to put my drawing name. Down here I'm going to put my actual name, so I'm going to click kind of up in the corner here, and I like to use a smaller text for that, so I'm going to use 0.08. And I'm going to go ahead and say name, colon. And I'm going to label what goes in each box. Once again, setting them at 0.08. Some people like to put these all in caps. That would be fine as well. Now you can see on the scale I forgot to set it to 0.08. Real easy fix. Escape out of whatever command you're in. Double click on the text. Highlight the text and come up here and change the size. Then in this corner I like to go ahead and put the size of paper that I'm working on. So I'm going to go ahead and use something different in here. If I go to text, I can still create the box where I want to go. I'm going to create a big box here instead of clicking a single point, so I can center it up in that box. And here's different things that I can go ahead and cue off of the information that the document gets. So I can get sheet number, right there's sheet size. So I went into sheet properties, sheet size, and I have to hit the X down. It drops it in there. I hit OK. It'll automatically put the sheet size in there for me. I know that we can cue the name, I know we can cue the date, I know we can cue the scale, but I like to go ahead and actually enter those and the drawing name. So I'm going to go ahead and use prompted entries for those. Once again, I want this one centered. So I'm going to do a drag box. I'm going to center, center, and I'm going to do a prompted entry. Whatever you put inside the carets is what it'll ask you when you go ahead and start drawing. So you can put whatever you need to remind yourself what you need to enter there. I just am going to put drawing, question mark. Same thing for name. Whoops. Deleted it a little too much. Then for sheet numbers, where I go ahead and do something a little fancier, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to do another text box. I'm going to go ahead and click here once again, and I'm going to have it bring up information for me. So I'm going to have it say sheet space, and then I'm going to go ahead and come up here. I want to go ahead and get the page number that we're on. So let's see, there's sheet number, that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to click down here, hit the X down to drop it in. And then I'm going to say of space, and then I want the total number that we were dealing with. So it's not in there. Number of sheets is right there. X down, I hit OK. It's going to have a long thing there, but it'll end up being shorter when we actually create a sheet. This box I like to save for a logo. So if you save an image off the internet that's a bitmap, that's the most convenient. I clicked on image there. I go ahead and create once again a dragging box where I want that image to go, and I've already gone ahead and saved one down right there. Let's say that's our logo, that's our school logo here. So I double click on that, and right there I've got my title block. To save this, I'm going to either hit finish sketch or escape out of what I'm in. Right click, I'm going to save title block. I do not want to save over ANSI, so I'm going to say save as. And I'm going to go ahead and name this by who I am. I'm going to hit save. Then you will notice when you come back here that your title block is not there. What you're going to do is you're going to expand that. Also expand there, expand title blocks. Yours should be in there. You can right click on ANSI large, delete, right click on yours, insert. It asks you for those prompts, so if you want to see how it actually looks, we could drawing, we could call it test, name. You have to use enter if you want to go between boxes on this. And you could fill in more information if you want. I'm just putting some quick stuff in for this video. And today is 11/9/12. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK. It populates my box. It all looks good. If I want to change it, I could right click on it and edit definition right here again. Make modifications. Once I'm happy with this, I'm going to come up here to the eye. I like to save it in my own folder just in case something happens, but then I also like to go save as, save copy as template, and that's going to save it into Inventor. So if I go into the English folder, let's say I want an English template here, and I'm going to go ahead and call this TAF. You can see I already have one in there, so I'm going to just call it TAF. It's going to save as a drawing. I could change that file type down there if I want. Let's go with an IDW, and I'm going to go ahead and say save. Now what that does for me is if I hit new anytime I want, right there is now that taf.idw. I double click on it. It says it can't find the logo. I can either say open, or if I skip, it usually goes ahead and keeps it in there. Prompts me for all the information, and I can go ahead and start drawing on my own title block. That is how you create your custom title block in Inventor.